Welcome to the Sunday celebration of Spirit here at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path. And at this moment, I ask you to please turn off anything electric that receives a signal, so it won't interrupt the sacred space that we are going to create today. And then say hi to your neighbor. And then say hi to somebody you don't know. I should get a mirror.
Hey, I don't know you really. Good morning.
We here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living know that there are indeed infinite paths to, but there is indeed only one God. And Reverend Carroll last week was talking about the apparent discrepancy between the absolute and the relative, and that reminded me of a quote that I heard from Reverend Edward up in Santa Rosa, which is, "Don't be so heavenly minded that you're of no earthly good." The words of this morning's chant will be up here on the wall, followed by a spiritual mind treatment.
Heavens to Betsy.
By Janet Ryan.
We have to go through. One moment, please. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed, and being love, thou art the pure expression of my divine heart. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed, and being love, thou art the pure expression of thy divine heart. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed. I am love revealed, I am love revealed. All that was separate is now here, and being love, thou art the pure expression of thy divine heart. I am love revealed.
And flowing from these words and this truth, knowing that love is revealed through and as each and every one of us, the infinite presence within, the one source, one power, one heart that we share. It is wholeness, peace, well-being, joy, fulfillment. And so I know for each and every one of us that this is expressing now, specifically through our lives. For God within each is one with all. And so declaring and knowing this truth, I accept the greatest good. Whatever the heart is desiring is now fulfilled in our acceptance of our good. There is no separation. And so we receive in consciousness and demonstrate in our lives love revealed, healing, renewing, restoring, and bringing forth good and good alone. I accept this as so. I give thanks for its demonstration specifically in each one of our lives, knowing that the good of all is distributed exponentially around the planet. With thanks, with gratitude, I release this word into the alchemy, into the law, and it is done. So I let it be, and so it is. Blessed be. Good morning, everyone. We send our love and blessings to Reverend Carol, who is with Merriman and Morrissey in Southern California. Reverend Carol's participating in a training next week. She's either in Southern California or Maui, but we know that wherever she is, it's good. And Bodhi, am I introducing you and Matt at this point? Just Matt, okay. So now I ask you all to prepare to receive a blessing. Matt Venuti, our musician of the day, is playing a contemporary instrument with timeless qualities. It's called the hum. Matt will be having a concert this evening. He's playing for us today and is presenting a concert in Marin this evening. After service, please do visit his table where he has CDs and flyers of the events coming up. I want to speak some more praise and gratitude for Matt for bringing this instrument to us. It is a sound healing to have the opportunity to hear this amazing, exquisite instrument handcrafted and presented by a master. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. The word hung means hand in Swiss German, specific to the dialect from people from Bern, Switzerland. It's made by two people in Bern, and hung means hand. It's made by the hand, played with the hand, and the hand being the expression of the soul, right? So.
Thank you, Matt. Oh my goodness, that was such a gift. Good morning. I'm Posey Lyon, and I'm the practitioner of the morning. And it is my privilege to welcome you. And it's at this point, oh, there is a young one now up on the stage, that we bless the children as they go off to teach their teachers. When I looked earlier, there were just the bigger children. Hi, we bless you. We see the light of God in your beingness. Thank you for blessing us. So this is also the time in the service where we express gratitude. So this morning, I am expressing my gratitude for each of you, because this community is not a community without each one of us who shows up every Sunday. And so I am so grateful for all the ways you give of your time, treasure, talent, all the ways you bless my life, and for all the ways you serve both here and in the world. Thank you. I'm also grateful for what a vibrant community we have. Today we have a very, very special workshop put on by our master practitioner 2 teachers. Michael Hart is in the back, and Pat, where are you? Pat Malone. And they're also going to be assisted by Janet Ryan and Gail Durkin. And the title of the workshop is Embracing Spirit in the New Year. So whether or not you've already set intentions or you want to go deeper with your intentions, you want to release what's come in the year before, come join us. I'll be there today to go deep into that embracing of spirit, that inner beingness. So it's at the Learning Center from 1 to 4, and there are flyers on the table. It's not too late to sign up. Today is also the first day we can sign up for our new book study. We're studying Angeles Arian's Living in Gratitude. And so there are many, many sign-up sheets over here with different people offering their homes at different times and different days. So make sure when you sign up that you write down all the information so you know where you're going. I will be starting to teach the Essential Earnest on January 25th. There are flyers and sign up on the Ed Team table, again, over here. And I believe it's the first time we've taught this course here. So whether or not you are fairly new or you're a longtime member, if you'd like to go more deeply, delve deeply into the writings of this humble, small-statured but giant of a man who is the founder of our denomination, you must have taken one of the foundational classes. Please come see me and sign up so we know how many people to prepare materials for. And Reverend Lloyd will be speaking in San Francisco this afternoon at 2 o'clock at the Century Club of California. I don't see the flyers. However, Francine and Phil can tell you exactly where to go if you need to know how to get there. And Reverend Lloyd just had knee surgery 17 days ago, so this should be a particularly remarkable presentation. Yeah. And also, one more thing is there will be no Qigong today, but it will be back by popular demand next Sunday. And finally, make sure to look through your bulletin. There's more information. It's a gem. And I'd also like to welcome anyone who is here for the first time. I remember coming to this community for the first time about 20 years ago and walking in and being part of the service and knowing I had come home. So my prayer for you is if you're here for the first time, that you feel like you've come home, and that you'll come back to meet our senior minister, Reverend Carol, when she returns on the 29th. So, and also, look at this altar. Is it not beautiful? And it was created by 2 of our Vision Corps members, Pat Sandry, where's Pat? And Barbara Crow. So please make sure to take a look at it before you leave, and our speaker today will be talking more about the elements on the altar. How many have been here the last 2 Sundays? So you know that the theme for this year is Tools for Transformation. I have been loving the talks. So every week, Reverend Carol has been bringing a new word for us to delve into as a tool for transformation. And hopefully all of you have a tree that were in the front. Thank you. Bodhi is going to assist me in walking over here to our Vanna White tree over here. So there are 52 leaves on this tree, one for every week. So our first word was opening, and last week our word was innocence. So the idea is for over the course of the year, you're going to fill in a word, and at the top of the leaf there's a line for an affirmation, and at the bottom is a line to write an action step. So these really can become tools for transformation in your life. So for instance, last week's word was innocence. So a possible affirmation would be, I embody the childlike innocence and curiosity in me. And an action step might be, I remember to be vulnerable. So I invite you to truly work with these words, write your affirmations, write your action step, and take action so that your life truly can be transformed. So, let me see. So our word this week is perfect for our speaker this morning. The word is vision. And we have as our speaker a very special treat. We have our own Janet Carol Ryan. She has been a practitioner in our community since 2000. She has an active full-time practitioner practice as a spiritual counselor. She was our first Vision Corps leader. She has been on our Corps Council 2 times. She's one of our master teachers and on the education team. She wrote the chant that we sang this morning, and she wrote the chant we'll be singing as the offertory. She is the newly published author in Science of Mind magazine in February, so make sure to read that article. And I am privileged to call her friend, colleague, prayer partner. And if any of you have ever experienced one of her meditations, and you did get to experience her praying this morning, she always takes me so deep. So please, and also there are CDs for available for sale after the service. Make sure, if you don't have them in your library, to get them today, because she'll take you deep. She'll take you deep into the center of your own being, where spirit resides. So please give a very, very hearty welcome to our own Janet Carol Ryan.
Let me just take you in. How beautiful you are. Posey is one of the first people that welcomed me in this community and helped to encourage me to tap in to my vision, to know a greater truth when I couldn't know it for myself. What a blessing it is to have our teachers, our friends, our companions, our guides on the spiritual path, because it can be rocky sometimes, yes? I want to begin with an invitation to you to enter into the realm of imagination. I'd like you to imagine that at home you have a television set. And in your television, there's a special channel, accessible only to you. You've got the access code. And when you turn that channel on, you see images, colors. You hear sounds, maybe like the hum. And you see a realm in which you are expressing the fullness of your gifts here in this life. Not some far off time, but now. You see yourself free of limitation. There's nothing standing in the way of your brilliance. Unique, exquisite, quirky perhaps, your own brand of expression. Now, if you had such a channel on your television set, would you find yourself going to that channel pretty frequently? A whole lot nicer than watching the news or hearing the stories of doom and gloom or, reality TV. So the truth is, you do have a special channel. And you have the access code. You can watch it anytime. No one has to show you how to use it. You've got the remote control. And you know where that entry point is to that channel? It's not in the box. It's in your heart. For we are encoded to be our brilliance. We are divinely designed to express something in this world that no one else can do. And vision, even though we use the word that relates to sight, vision comes in many different ways. When we do the visioning practice, I always begin by saying the vision might come in words, it might come in a feeling, it might come in colors and sounds and shapes, symbols, a felt sense, and it's usually a divine quality that we're sensing: joy, creativity, bliss, abundance. Now, how do we step into the vision? Maybe we get a glimmer of ourselves, standing on a stage, a podium, speaking, but we don't know how to get there. Visioning is not about action steps or the how-to. It's about the feeling tone. It's about embodying those qualities so completely within ourselves that the vision begins to create itself synergistically. It's not sought necessarily. It's not how to, it's be. How do I be? I'd like to share a story from one of my students. Richard Esteb is a wonderful individual that many of us know. Richard trained as an architect. He put years of effort, energy, financial resources, study, and practice into his field to become an architect. Gifted, humorous, qualified. And yet, when the time came for him to burst into his career, things weren't moving. He wasn't finding the way to realize his dream of becoming an architect. And he was frustrated. at the suggestion of his wife, a dear friend of mine, a colleague, Alexander Koch, he came and took the visioning class. And he demonstrated one of the first essential elements for visioning, and that was willingness. See if I can bring that up on the PowerPoint. And unconditional love. The love for himself, to be willing to look at his life in a new way. So over the course of the class, we did the visioning meditations each week. He listened within. He began to tune into that channel of something greater, a different vision of himself than the one that he had thought he was stepping into. And during the class, he began to get a sense of himself being more out in the world, having more contact with people. Now, Richard, like myself, is an introvert. His preference is to be kind of on the quiet side and a homebody. But you know what? He demonstrated willingness. So he began to embody this feeling of being more connected. And through the visioning process, the synergy, the synchronicity, the being but not doing began to happen. And he was invited to present a unit on architecture at Redwood High School with the students in shop. And as he began mentoring the young people and doing a critique of their projects from an architectural perspective, the teacher kind of tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You know what? You'd be a good teacher." Vision started to show up, something he'd never thought of before. And yet, at first he said, "I don't think so." But it kept coming. And he noticed this joy that was bubbling up from within. That's a signature of vision. So he began to follow that and just take the next step. And the teacher, who had been at Redwood for many, many years, said, "You might want to get a temporary credential." So Richard did that. And what he noticed was the more he was with the kids, the more he was in his joy. He was in his creativity, his fun. He's a real jokester. And he loves young people. He has an affinity for coaching and mentoring young people. So, oh my goodness, his training began to come together with his heart's essence. He got his temporary credential, and lo and behold, the teacher announced he was going to retire. It's now 2.5 years later. Richard is teaching at Redwood High School, and I asked him if I could share his story, and he said yes. And be sure and tell them, I am having fun every day. Now, it's not what he had scripted for his life. It wasn't what he had expected. In fact, he resisted it. But with the love and with the willingness and a curiosity, he began to enter into a new realm, and the vision began to unfold around him. I want to speak about this beautiful altar created by two members of our Vision Corps. Pat Sandry and Barbara Crow participated in the visioning class this past summer. 8 weeks. And you know, at first we thought, 8 weeks of visioning, really? And yet each week there was the divine unfoldment of we're visioning on our life's purpose. We're visioning on our relationships. We're visioning on our relationship with money. Each week, a rich and fertile field for opening to the higher potential. I asked the two of them to present our altar today. This is their first altar. Isn't it beautiful? And in the same way that vision reveals itself, there's a bit of mystery, there's a bit of curiosity and wonderment, there's love right at the center of the altar with the little angel holding a golden heart. The spiral, the lotus, all of these symbols, similar to how symbols might appear in vision. Vision is symbolic. It is intuitive. It speaks to the heart and to the mind. And in this altar we have elements of Barbara's special art, her collage work here, original works of art, and also Rumi with the phrase of something big is coming. Something big is coming. Visioning is about evoking a higher perspective for our lives. We can access the field of love intelligence that's connected to everything. So we might get a glimmer of moving into a realm we know nothing about, and yet in the one mind and the one heart, we have access to all that we need. Vision provides the ways and the means, and it isn't necessarily linear. Often it is not. It's a hop, skip, and a jump, and then we're in the vision. I'll share with you that over time, doing this practice, I would see myself on a stage speaking. I'm an introvert. And I was born with a speech defect. I was teased for the sound of my voice when I was a child. And yet, as I began to prepare to become a licensed spiritual practitioner, our tool, our core practice is prayer, voice, speaking the word. The vision was pulling me. The pain was pushing in another direction. Oh no, keep quiet, don't risk being criticized. And yet the vision was stronger. And I began to dedicate my voice as a healing instrument. And out of that have come prayers, CDs, meditations, songs. Now, if I had been in the world of limitation, and I'll tell you, I'm not free of that completely, and yet the visioning practice allows us to step out of the limitation, out of the constrictions of conditioning or the ways of the world, into our heart's expression. And so it has given me the courage to stand in front of you today and to know that the divine within me is really what is expressing here. An essential element of visioning is non-judgment. Not judging ourselves, not judging what comes in visioning, or if we don't get much of anything. Visioning is about asking the questions that evoke a response, but that don't always come right in that moment. Sometimes it's the next day in the shower, you'll have a breakthrough in your thinking. Or someone comes up to you in the bookstore and says, hey, that's a really good book. I'd recommend you reading that. You know, you just know that's a message from Spirit, and it's because we've asked the question that life begins to correspond to our asking. So not judging ourselves or saying, oh, I don't get much when I vision. It's the unconditional love, the willingness, the curiosity, and the non-judgment, all working together to bring us to a new possibility. And here's the alchemical element: being open to greater good. Reverend Michael Beckwith, who is really the conduit for this practice and applies it in his global community, the Agape Center for Truth, says the promise of visioning, or what we bring ourselves to through the practice of visioning, is I am available to more good than I have ever experienced, realized, manifested, or imagined before in my life. I mean, that is really bringing yourself to the threshold of something entirely new. Now, we tend to think of visioning as a new practice in Science of Mind, and yet, when we go back to Judge Thomas Troward, who was one of the mentors, one of the conduits and the inspiration for Ernest Holmes, he said, my mind, and I'll say my heart, is a center of divine operation. Divine operation is always for expression and expansion. And it proceeds out of itself in an orderly sequence. So when we think about nature, things evolve out of their essential nature. So when we foster the vision with these elements, we create a fertile field for something new, greater than ever before. Something big is coming. So how can we tune in? What is this practice of visioning? It is about asking the questions that will evoke this response from a higher level than the conditions of our lives. And it begins with the presupposition that we are certainly more than this life, this experience. We are greater, and we are tuned in to the divine channel. And in God, there's no judgment. There is unconditional love. God within us, as us, sees only our brilliance, only our potential, wants only the best for us. So in visioning, we allow ourselves with willingness to surrender to something greater coming through. And we ask, what is the highest vision for my life? I'm willing to even set aside my best plans and ask, how does God see itself as me, through me? What are my gifts and talents to share with the world? How can I bring them forth more fully? We might even add in a way that is easy and fun. Why not? Now, in order to bring something forth greater than what has been before, we might have to make way for it. So then we ask, what must I release? What's been in the way? How have I been limiting myself? And you know, vision, we'll say spirit, always speaks with love. There are no shoulds in visioning. It's always let go of the idea that you can't. Or maybe it's clear the clutter in your house. Not with judgment, but that'll create a greater flow. And if we're willing to do that next thing, it may not be logical. How does this connect with my life purpose? And yet, synergy begins to happen. Synchronicity, we're making way for the vision to emerge. The next question in visioning is, What may I embrace that supports this vision? So this is not about making it happen. It is about allowing ourselves to be supported. Again, we go back to unconditional love and know that we're worthy and deserving of living a fully expressed life. And not only that, that life is asking it of us. When I would guide meditations in my classes, my students would say, "Oh, did you record that?" I go, "No, didn't, sorry." And then, we'd do a prayer or a practice. "Oh, is that recorded somewhere? I'd love to." So again, there's vision saying, have the vision of the voice, have the vision of me expressing, someone's calling for it, am I willing to step into that? And it kind of starts to crowd in on us after a while, and it gets so doggone obvious that this is what we're meant to do. And I remember when I made my first CD, I thought, well, I don't know how to do a CD. I don't know how. That's a big one that tends to get in the way of us fulfilling what our heart is urging us into, isn't it? Can you relate? I don't know how. And so I began to simply make space for it. I literally drew pictures of what the CD might look like and what elements would go in it. And one morning as I was meditating and imagining, envisioning this CD, I thought, well, wait a minute, I don't know how, but I have friends who do. And I thought of my dear friend Karen Drucker, and I had the courage to call her up and say, "Karen, could you help me with this?" And she said, "I'd be delighted." And so, what may we embrace? The support, the connection, the community. We just look around the room. In fact, do that now. Look around the room. And see the loving faces of your community members, your tribe. In this community, we are abundant with treasure, skills, talents, resources, creativity, healing, prayer, classes, practitioners, artists, videographers, photographers, writers. And in each and every one of us, there's more brilliance to be birthed. So, how do we access this channel, this tuning in to the vision channel? The visioning practice itself, yes, do it. Find out how. Come to the monthly visioning meditation on the first Wednesday of the month. If you're so inspired, the next time the visioning class is offered, I invite you to come on in and immerse yourself in the practice. Our visionaries, those who went through the class last summer, are now members of the Vision Corps. The Vision Corps meets once a month and is available to additional members. So you might find that you're inspired to serve our community by visioning for the community, the right next step for us evolving. Through this practice, we are participating in our own spiritual evolution, individually, collectively. What we do for our own evolution supports the brilliance of the evolving planet, the global heart. And I'd like to offer another suggestion. That visioning need not be the formal questions that I went through earlier. It can be paying attention to the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. Do you ever find yourself asking yourself, why is my life so messed up? Oh, I don't think we want the answer to that question, because the only answer to that question is more mess, right? Dr. David Hawkins, who wrote Power versus Force, says, a question cannot be asked unless there's already the potentiality of an answer. The reason for this is that the question and the answer are both created out of the same paradigm, and therefore are exactly symmetrical. There can be no up without an already existing down. So what does this mean for us? We want to ask the questions that we really want the answer to. And we can apply this anywhere in our lives. It can be in our relationship. What's the highest vision for our relationship? What is the evolving higher frequency of our love connection? It can be in business. What's the most creative and imaginative way we can fulfill this project? We don't have to use the G word. Because we know as a spiritual community that the God qualities are present everywhere. They're not contained in any specific philosophy or religion, and they're in each one of us. So asking the question from that higher frequency. Let's imagine that you have a deadline, a project that you've got to get done, and there's some pressure on the group. Well, let's shift it to a higher frequency. What's the most fun and creative way that we can accomplish this? For your children, what is the highest vision? Or your parenting? For that child, you know that your child is a miracle. So seeing them as a miracle and asking the questions that will evoke a higher level of your relating is a way that we can all contribute to a world living in love. Each one of us carries the seeds of vision within, and we are offered the opportunity every day to ask the questions that we want the answers to. A dear friend of mine is sitting here today, and I think of Jennifer in this regard about asking the questions that you'd like the answers to. Jennifer has a byline in her email that says, "Open to life beyond my wildest dreams." This is her affirmation. It is her declaration. She's bold enough to put it on every single email that she sends out. And over the years, I have witnessed Jennifer stepping into a greater vision of herself and having fun. In just a couple of weeks, she will be going to Cambodia with Reverend David Alt on a volunteer where she will be bringing her love and her light, and also her receptivity, her willingness, her curiosity, her non-judgment, her unconditional love, and her opening to greater good. Because she is open to life beyond her wildest dreams. She travels, she has fun, she rides a Vespa. You know what, when I spoke with Reverend Lloyd, I'm just going to close with this because I want to leave you with clarity, not any confusion. There is a distinction between visioning and visualization. Visualization probably will be one of our tools this year. It is a masterful practice in being metaphysicians, and yet visualization is where we have a specific goal and we're putting energy, attention, imagination into that outcome. With vision, we are opening without condition to the highest potential, the highest possibility that we can be And we are listening with the heart to the answer. And so now I invite you to join me in the inner work. And Matt or Bodhi or both, can we have some background? A soundscape. And so I invite you into the inner work, which is really not work. It is making that intentional shift from the mind into the heart. And gently, with focus in the heart, we breathe. And through the heart, we access the realm of unconditional love. Breathe in that quality now and feel the radiant energy of love within. And at whatever level you are experiencing it now, allow it to increase. Rest in it. Allow this love to bathe every cell in your body and to expand outward with ease. And so you are nested right inside this heart, the heart that is bigger than you are, the heart that is as big as the world. And ask the wisdom within, what is the highest vision for my life? Allow yourself to see with the eyes of spirit. See yourself free of any limitation, fully expressing your gifts and talents. What does it look like? How does it feel? As you sense into this vision of you fully expressing your divine nature, you might get a glimmer, a picture, a feeling, a sound, a word. Welcome it. Without any sense of needing to make anything happen, we simply receive. An opening to this vision. What is the quality that is present? Feel and sense this quality being within you now as you embody it. Become willing. And now just gently ask, what may I release to bring more of this forth in my life? What can I let go of? And what may I embrace that supports my full expression as the God being that I am? And knowing there's no time or space in God, I know that the answers to these questions are flowing into our awareness now and continuously as we are receptive, willing, open to greater good than ever before. And so we just allow Entrust the vision to Spirit, knowing the ways and means will be shown in right timing, in synchronicity and synergy. It may even feel like magic. Anchor this feeling tone, whatever the quality is for you. Imagine now that you are bringing it more fully into your heart. Maybe even reach out with your hands and touch your physical heart. Know that I am the embodiment of my vision. And just take another nice deep breath and let it go. And so it is. Blessed be. And so come on back. Your vision is within you. It is unfolding in front of your very eyes. You are stepping into it. And we are. Thank you. I believe that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Janet. I hope you all feel as richly filled as I do. What a morning service. So, now is the time in the service for our conscious giving. So, I invite you to take your gift in your hands if you have a live check or cash, or if you are a pledger who has automatic giving taken out of your credit card. I invite you to take it all and place it on your heart so that you infuse your gift with your love and know that that giving blesses both the giver and the receiver, that it goes forth to multiply and bless everyone who comes in contact with that gift in some way or another, first starting with this community and going out into the world and blessing and blessing and blessing. So would the ushers please accept the gifts, and please join me in Janet's second chant for the morning. I am one within you.
I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth and beauty. Answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within you. I am the one you seek. Within your heart there's a door. Arms of love await you with these golden wings. Take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth and beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. And I am the one within you, and I am the one you see. Within your heart there is a doorway. The arms of love await you with these golden wings. Take flight. One more time. I am the infinite presence, and I am the one in all. I am the truth and beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. And I am the one within you. I am the one you see. Within your heart there is a doorway. The arms of love await you with these golden wings. Take flight. With these golden wings, take flight.
So with these golden wings, these gifts take flight to go out into the world, to bless, to give, and to be received. What a blessing. Thank you, life. Okay. Just checking in to see where we are. Now, I'm calling the practitioners in service forward while the rest of the practitioners please surround the room. These precious beings have trained for over 4 years as spiritual transformational prayer counselors, and they are in service to you today. So please, if you wish a prayer, if there's anything heavy or light on your heart, please go to the back of the room and take advantage of these wonderful beings praying with you. So I invite you once again to go within, to open in innocence and vision to that indwelling presence, whether you call it God, light, spirit. It is that presence that is everywhere, in every point of space. That is the unconditional love that Janet spoke of. That is also immutable law that brings forth whatever each one of us chooses to call forth. Because each one here and beyond is made in the image and likeness of that indwelling spirit. We are each one of us the beloved place where God shows up. Each one of us absolutely essential to Spirit's full expression and experience of itself as each one. So I claim for each one in this room and beyond that chooses to align with this word being spoken, that opening in consciousness that allows any need to be pushed by pain, to be absolutely, completely released. Any doubt, any fear, any block to experiencing the fullness of our good. I claim that it is simply let go, released. And in its stead, I claim for each one of us that opening to be pulled by Spirit's vision for our life. To be pulled by that vision to step fully into the fullest magnificence of our lives, to accept greater good than we have ever imagined up till now. To experience life as joy, as light, as abundance, as wholeness, as all good. And with joy and gratitude, I release this word to the activity of law. God as law, to deliver the goods. I let it be, and so it is. Blessed be.
Affirmation and closing song. Together, I open myself to the most loving, empowering, and uniformly positive vision for my life from the mind of God which flows through me. My yes to this vision activates the universe around me to support this vision to come into form for the good of all. Blessed be.
Don't forget the workshop this afternoon.